Ah, tired,
Yep.
bored, tired is exactly how I feel about the season. Yes, we're back from the summer break, but almost feels like who cares?
Yeah, it's almost like it's Max win another one again and again and again and again.
It's like
And
you know what I
and
really
he,
want to put out to like our viewers is to ask them like how many of you have just like completely tuned out for the rest of the season? You know, like you're done. You're
I mean,
just bored. You're not gonna watch the rest of the season. You
it's
know,
really like for us, we have to watch it because we're gonna deliver this to you. But for you, normal, like for you guys, if I'm you, I'm not gonna watch it because it's just no point. You just see one car controlling the pace
yeah.
up and be very casual and stuff.
Dude, and there's even articles that are being published like 6 reasons to continue watching the F1 season, and like basically the first paragraph is like, despite Red Bull dominance, here are 6 reasons why you should still tune in and watch the season. And it's like, okay, we still have cost cap. We still have, Andretti trying to join the series. Whatever. It's like, yes, but we came here for the racing. We didn't come here for the drama. We came here for the racing.
We didn't come here for, political stuff.
Yes, exactly.
And of course, you can argue, oh, then why did other teams not as dominant and not as good as Red Bull? And of course, it's them spending extra money.
Right. But even here, like, what I found really actually interesting is like, in doing my research, like Ben Suliam basically said that they're not going to take any steps to kind of like hamper their performance, right? Which is, I mean, on the face of it is admirable. Like, okay, like let the winners win, let the racers race, all of that good stuff. I get it. I support it, like in principle. The problem is that that is a complete reversal of behavior of the FIA for the last few decades, right? Like, how many times did they change the rules during like Mercedes dominance or Ferrari dominance,
trying to slow them down? And
exactly,
and
trying to slow them
there's
down.
a lot.
There's
a lot. Yeah.
Exactly. So
But
why all of a sudden is Ben Suliam, concerned about? Oh no! Now that Red Bull's leading, that we're not going to worry about changing the regulations. Like you do that. That's always been the history. You want to try and level the playing field because you get what we have now, like a fucking boring season. Like, it's just, I couldn't stay awake. I couldn't stay awake. I've been awake since 7 o'clock in the morning. F1 put me to sleep.
That's sad. That's really sad for F1.
And
see, you can still argue. You can also argue when Hamilton era dominates. I mean, come on. Hamilton era dominate is not as dominant as today's Red Bull. Come on.
No,
we all know
no. I mean, like,
dude, consistently 20 seconds out, except today, because today is different occasions, but consistently 20 seconds in front of the whole pack. When Red Bull, when Mercedes dominated, the most I see is 11 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
To 15 seconds. But 20 seconds, 22 seconds, sometimes even 30 seconds.
Dude.
Leading the field.
If you do the math, right, right now, on average, okay, if you consider Verstappen's average speed throughout the track 120 miles an hour, and he's 20 seconds ahead of second place, he's literally 2/3 of a mile ahead of everybody else. Like literally, that's the math. Like if you do distance equals rate times time, it's literally 2/3 of a mile ahead.
That's crazy.
You know, which is crazy. You know,
and like Sharif was saying, prop to Red Bull and prop to like Max producing this kind of result. But the problem comes down to FIA again. Like, why this formula doesn't work, doesn't level in the playing field, but then instead it actually creates a big gap in between Red Bull and the other teams. Why?
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. Like I'm so bored with this season. I'm so bored with just how things are going, the trajectory. It's like it's so funny. Like I was even talking to my dad about it the other day, and I'm like, I don't want to watch the race. Like I don't care. You know. He's like, oh, but you know, who's gonna win? I'm like,
Max.
I know who's gonna win. And he's like, no, you don't. And I'm like, who do you predict? I'm like, it's not a prediction. Short of an act of God, literally like God coming down from the heavens, putting his hand down and knocking his car off the racetrack, right? Verstappen's gonna win, you know?
Or later, God come down and bring Max's car to the podium.
right. Like, but that's it. That's exactly it. You know?
Yeah.
And like, I know that's exactly what's going to happen. I know there's no question in my mind about it, you know? And like, what do they expect?
It's
like,
it's becoming very boring, and
even
for me, I fall asleep.
Yeah.
During the race.
Mm-hmm.
And like I even jump forward to watch the race because we watch the replay, and I even jump forward because the race is just boring after all. That's nobody doesn't happen on my side. But I did it. I jump forward, and I can still predict who's gonna win the race.
Yeah. And that's just it. Like that to me is, we've said it before, we'll say it again. You know, props to Red Bull. Props. They did a phenomenal job. You know, the car is amazing. Verstappen and that car together are magic. You know, like really, like I have no beef with Verstappen and Red Bull. I don't. Like this season, they are like the champions. Like no questions asked. Every award, accolade, everything, he deserves it. You know, he has been driving like an insane man, right? However, it's boring. Like the formula is broken beyond a shadow of a doubt, you know, and like the FIA needs to make moves and decisions about how they're going to balance the remainder of not just this. They can't do anything about this season, but until the new formula is updated in 2026, right? We still have another full year of this, guys. So it's been, 2021 or 2022, 2023, and then next year, 2024. 3 years, man. Like, how many viewers do they want to lose? Really, I mean, I know a lot of people who are just saying, like, okay, cool, but why am I going to tune in? It's no joke. Like, I remember the Schumacher era. There was no point in tuning in, like, God bless Schumacher. And again,
they're just gonna win.
He was an amazing driver, and still probably is, but you didn't want to watch the races. You just didn't. And it really behooves them to make some revisions technically to the formula to make the series more interesting.
Exciting.
So Ben Sulayem saying, "Oh, I'm going to be hands off. We're not going to, do anything to the regulations," is quite frankly like irresponsible.
Dude, I assure you, if Mercedes is in Red Bull's position, Ben Sulayem is gonna take action. I'm assure you.
Well, and
he's probably gonna do it.
That's why, like, the whole like conspiracy theory stuff persists, right? Because you're like, oh, okay, you have Michael Massey breaking the rules, then Red Bull goes over the cost cap, they get a slap on the wrist, and then now we have 2 years of Red Bull dominance. And then Ben Sulayem saying, like, okay, I'm not going to use my authority, which I rightly have, in order to make revisions to, like, our formula, right? Which historically they've done, right?
They've done so many times.
Yeah, they did it during the Red Bull dominance era. I don't know how many times, where they would say, oh, okay, we need to adjust ride height. We need to adjust this. We need to adjust that, And by them not doing that, it's like, okay, well,
why not? Why did they not doing anything?
You're guaranteeing more of the same, and so I can understand why, like, the Team LH community is like, oh, it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. Like, well, you're kind of feeding it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, really.
It's miserable.
I don't know. Like, and the funny thing is, like, I like the Dutch GP racetrack. Me
too.
I think it's very interesting. It looks like a damn roller coaster ride.
Yeah. It looks like a Monaco on steroid.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see more wheel-to-wheel action. And especially, like, the weather kind of sucks, but like.
And speaking of the weather, we're having so many wet races.
Yeah, like basically all the European races.
Yeah, which is boring. Which is really boring.
Yeah.
Even boring there.
Dude, yeah. It's been brutal, like really brutal to watch, And that's the thing, like, for us who are here in America. Like, I hate to be such a Debbie Downer about this, but like, those of us who are here in America, like, we have to make like extra efforts in order to like watch this thing.
Yeah. And
for us to kind of be punished on some level with like boring races, bad environment,
Yep.
Yep. It's like I said, it makes me not want to watch.
Like, I don't feel rewarded waking up so early on Sunday morning, which I can sleep in.
Yeah, exactly.
But then we have to watch it because we're doing this for you guys. that's the thing. It's like,
like, really, it begs the question. Like, you could literally wait for the freaking highlights to come out, and still do what we're doing essentially.
Yeah.
Which I hate to say is
you're right.
it shouldn't be the case.
100% right.
But
basically watch a replay.
Yeah,
but
it's like that, because there's no complexity. There's no like depth to the race.
Yeah. There's nothing more than just Max or Ripple winning the race.
Right.
And of course, in the back of the field, you got some overtake here and there, but of course, this DRS thing that is doing the overtake so much easier. Which is, come on, if I get rid of the DRS, just get rid of it and make the race more exciting. DRS is it's ruining the race.
Dude, I'll say what I've said before, and I'll say it again. Nobody watches a competitive series, whether it's the World Cup, whether it's American sports, the NFL, NHL, the Olympics, to see who finished in second, third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah. Everybody wants to see who finished first.
Yeah. What up, man? How you doing? Well, it's funny, like, I think that Merck is bad or is worse with strategy and pit stops now, largely due to their loss of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people left in the last, year or two, or no, not a year or two, last 3 years, that were part of what that made who were part of that team that made Mercedes so dominant. And it's really, really difficult to recover from the loss of that kind of talent,
Of course, a few of them went to Red Bull.
What up? How you doing? How you doing, man?
A few of the engineers, designers went to Red Bull after 2021. And you guessed it. What they're working on, the new Red Bull car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and not just there, like some people went into, the production automotive sector and things like that. And so, realistically speaking, it's just whenever you have an attrition of talent on a team, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal, But, I asked it before. Now that we've got a few more people in here, Russell. My favorite.
Again, there's still drama, but ultimately we cannot know who is gonna win the race, even though there's still drama.
And this is what I want to ask now that there's a few more people, is like, how many of you guys are still watching?
The whole race.
How many of you guys are really still tuning in? Are you guys kind of bored? Have you guys kind of just said, okay, I'm gonna move on. I don't need to sit and watch everything, or like where are you guys at? Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. 100%. And yes, he does. He does try to be that guy. Like, it's so funny. I try to keep my tongue because like, a lot of British viewers who like tune into us really like hate that I go after Russell. But that kid is a try hard without the results, for sure.
We get people mad at us.
Mm. Yeah, see, like I'm kind of with you, there. Like it is like a big old traffic accident, but it's
Yeah.
like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, why are we making ourselves feel like this discomfort and pain? When we really don't need to. you know, it's just interesting to me. I mean, uh, I don't know, guys. I'm really,
Yeah. I lost my word either.
yeah, like in the last few years, even like this is the first season in a long time where I'm like, ugh, I kind of don't want to keep watching, and it's the longest season as well.
It's gonna be longer.
Like we're only halfway, guys. We're only halfway.
Yeah.
Like that's nuts to me. We still have so much left to go.
And well, it's not gonna be a prediction. Max is probably gonna win every single race.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
unless the guy, like I said earlier,
Unless he crashed himself.
yeah, unless like God literally comes down from the heaven,
Yeah.
and knocks his car off the track.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna win. Which I said it earlier. Props to him. Props to the Red Bull team. Props to Adrian Newey. You guys killed it, right? But damn, is it boring? It's so boring.
And not even his own teammate can challenge him for some reason. I don't know how he's not gonna challenge him.
Yeah. See, this is so interesting to me. I don't know, like internally, what I don't know the culture well enough as to why people in the UK are unhappy that Lewis Hamilton is representing them. I don't know if it's a racial issue. I don't know if it's a personality issue. Maybe he's not as like stoic, as the Brits like to present themselves. I'd love some clarification there, but it's like, dude, like, why? I never understood this. I never understood why people have an issue with him.
Like everybody that I know has an issue with Hamilton as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's not doing you anything. He's just racing himself, and then why are you having issue with him?
Yeah. See. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But I will say this: I still maintain Lando Norris is on the pathway to be at least a 1-year champion, if not like a multi-year champion. That is one, like, what's made me like willing to tune in now, really, is watching Lando Norris's trajectory. If I'm 100% honest with you, right? Like, I have invested so much of my hope for the future of F1, honestly, into Lando Norris, right? Because it's like, okay, realistically speaking, Lewis is going to retire at some point. Alonso's going to retire at some point, right? Sergio Perez, even though I love the guy, I don't see him lasting too much longer in the sport. As a matter of fact, actually, if we really want to talk about it like in depth, Helmut Marko basically said his seat is not guaranteed for next year. unless he gets his shit together, right? And this is recent, this is just like yesterday or the day before, you know. Um, I don't really have any great hope for Leclerc. Everybody is shoving down my throat how great Leclerc is supposed to be, and I don't see it in terms of performance.
I don't see it either.
Yeah,
he's not consistent. He's consistently crashing in the wall.
Right.
Consistently,
and
almost every single race.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the only other people that I see potentially doing really great things in the future are Sainz and Albon. Yeah. That's it. That's really it. And they, both of them need to get into better cars.
Yeah.
Right? Because let's face it, Ferrari should be second in the manufacturers series, but they're freaking fourth. Yeah. They're fourth.
They are behind
Aston Martin.
Yeah. Come on, Ferrari. Come on. Just get your shit together.
Yeah, Ferrari has lost it, man. Absolutely lost it. But yeah, dude, honestly, the more I see of, I'm assuming you mean the man-child, but the more I see of Verstappen, off of the track, the more I'm like, wow, this guy has no personality, and the personality he does have is an entitled man-child.
Yeah.
But,
I normally don't watch the trophy handle for a long time now.
Yeah. The thing is, I agree. He is not quite as Lewis Hamilton, Max, for sure. But I think he would dominate Charles because he's got way better racecraft, and he's a much better thinking driver.
At least he's not crashing.
Right. Yeah,
that's the biggest point. He's not crashing into the wall.
Yeah, I think Lando in an all equal sort of, if everybody had the same car, Lando would surprise a lot of people, actually.
Even though he's not fast enough, and his driving style is not fast enough, but then he's still young, and he can still grow, how Max grew in the beginning to right now.
Yeah.
And if you see that trajectory, we'll see some domination on Lando.
Yeah, I think Lando has the room for not just the room for improvement, but the capacity.
Yeah.
For getting faster and getting better.
Yeah.
What up, Maddie? How you doing?
What's up?
Yeah, Charles is fast. Exactly, but he does not have the composure at all. I think you put a little bit of pressure on Charles, and he falls to bits.
And again, I'm gonna say again, I think that's the biggest difference between those guys to Hamilton and Max, because they know their limit. They don't drive over the limit, and they will save the car and have the car play safe and then wait for the opportunities. But a lot of those guys has nothing to lose. They will just drive to the limit of the car. And of course, you have to drive the limit of the car, but not that limit, over the limit.
He goes over the limit routinely, you know.
So Charles goes over the limit routinely.
No, again, before we address this next comment, again, it could be an argument to be made that is the nature of the Ferrari car, right? Sainz has been saying that the car is very, very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And they can't, even with their predictive models on how it should perform, it will often do the opposite of what they predict, right? So they'll say, okay, at this race, we should be not doing so well, and at that race, we should be doing great. And it will usually like flip flop, right? It's temperature sensitive, it's wind sensitive. So I don't know. It really could be just the car, and Charles is not able to deal with the unpredictability of the car. But for some reason, Sainz is doing way better in the same car from like a consistency perspective.
Yeah,
You know,
that's my
So-
biggest point. Like,
exactly.
the same
exactly.
car. How does Carlos manage to stick on the track and Charles is always managing to crash?
Exactly. Exactly.
Consistency.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Right. Now this is really sad because, like, I never understand. It's so interesting because this is such a European perspective, right? Like, this is where I do appreciate, on some level, being American,
Me too.
because like Joe and I are both, we're not white. I may
Oh
look
yeah,
Caucasian.
look at me.
Right. Like I may look Caucasian, right? But realistically, like, I'm Greek and Egyptian. Joe is Taiwanese. You know what I mean? Like,
My pretty face is Taiwanese.
we are both like, we're both Americans, and like our country on some level would always accept us. There would be a small minority, of course, that wouldn't, right? But if we were to represent our country would back us, and the majority would back us. But this is, I feel, a very like European sentiment. I know my Greek, like the Greeks are super xenophobic. For example, if you're not purebred Greek, well, you're xeno, which xeno means foreigner, So, like, I don't know. This is a very distinctly European sentiment, in my opinion, and I just don't get it. Right? Like, you have a guy who claims you as his homeland. He is committed to your homeland, and he's winning in the name of your homeland. Back the guy, for God's sakes! Like I don't get it.
So sad, man. So sad.
Yeah, and just my perspective, This is exactly true. Joe and I have talked about this quite a bit.
Exactly, and then we have been saying the exact same thing so many times for the past 2 years now.
Yeah. Honestly, for at least 2 years now.
Yeah,
we've been saying this exact thing.
Yeah. He's gonna win at all costs, and he's not gonna care about any other things than the W.
He's got to either win, or he's got to take out his competition or the person who offended him.
Yeah.
And you see it even when he plays esports.
Yeah,
that clip that's been going on recently, where a guy rear-ended him. So Max took him out and himself out of the esports race just to make a point, and he quit the series. Like, he quit the game. He basically like rage quit like a child, and it's like
childish. I'm
right, and I'm like,
so childish.
This feels like the 2021 F1 season, doesn't it?
It's so immature in so many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I really hope so, that it's just the far and few between, and I do know mainland Europe can get pretty bad about this. I know the French are particularly bad about this, with their Moroccan and Thai residents. They definitely treat them quite differently, and I hate to admit it, but the Greeks do the same thing, If you're a foreigner in Greece, you don't really have the best of times there, So I was always kind of hoping that the UK would, be a beacon of difference in that regard. I mean, so yeah, I don't know, man. Like, Lewis is, regardless of what your personal feelings about him are, like, my view is if somebody's doing bits in the name of your country, you got to celebrate them. You got to appreciate them.
He's doing whatever he came to, trying to win the race for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. And he's done it for how many years now? You know what I mean?
And he's still doing it right now, even though the car is not fast. But he's trying. He's doing this. Look at him today, starting from 13, and then he went up to 5. 6, which is a great result for him. Even though the race is so boring, but it's still a good outcome, good recovery drive for him.
Yeah. This is exactly true. Yeah, if you're a non-white in France, you are. It's not pleasant there. Like, for sure. All right, we need to wrap things up really quickly here for Joe. Joe has some responsibilities he needs to deal with, but I will touch on one last thing for the people here. What do you guys think about Felipe Massa's pursuit of the 2008 championship issue? I'm very curious because I thought that the matter was dead, but just like a day or two ago, Felipe Massa said he is absolutely going to pursue it legally, to the ends of the earth, basically.
Like what's the point? It's 2008.
Yeah.
It was old stone.
we're literally talking about 15 years.
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
And
hey, what is he going to get out of?
It's nothing against Hamilton. He just wants to prove injustice, which is admirable, but 15 years. What are you guys' thoughts in the chat? I'm very curious.
First, my thought is stupid.
Yeah.
Just get it over with, man. Get it over with. It's 15 years ago.
Right?
And you're not going to get anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just let it go. It's not. I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm so curious about like what he really thinks like he's gonna gain for his legacy.
And if he wants to sue people, he should sue his own team because his own team screw up his pit stop strategy.
Yeah.
And then his own team left what's that, the gas hole open, like refueling, and then he got burned.
Dude,
himself, his own team, not others drivers.
Dude, like my perspective is if we're gonna if we're going to establish this precedent, then there's no reason that Mercedes should not have sued the FIA for a change in the result of the 2021 series because of Michael Massey.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that's my perspective.
That's also my perspective. if they can
know?
sue that, they can turn around the outcome.
Right.
Then they should
Right.
just try and get the 2021
100%.
back. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because they've already admitted that it was a bad call on
And
Massey's
they
part,
already
right?
admitted it's a human error that
Right.
costing Hamilton's championship trophy.
So if we're gonna open these doors, I
Yeah.
mean, how many different races are we gonna rewrite the history of?
Yeah.
You know, like realistically speaking.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So let's just not go that way.
By the way, CPM, screw you, you troll. Love you, CPM. Exactly. Yeah,
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly. And that will still give Hamilton 7-time champion. So what's the point?
Well, right. This is exactly the point, you know. Well, see, like Max's argument is that Bernie Ecclestone, you know, states that they knew that there was some foul play, and they could have done something, but they didn't. So technically, it was F1's doing. You know, that at least that's his argument for his position.
I mean, flip him, Master. He's just still living in his past. He's in his dream. Don't go down that route. It's
I think he's taking a big dookie on his legacy.
Yeah.
You know,
if he do that,
if
he actually do that to pursue a legal issue, then that will actually kill his legacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Massa definitely did not deserve anything in 08. You know, Lewis was on track to be the winner in 21.
Lewis was cruising to finish his 8th championship.
Yeah.
No one can touch him.
Yeah.
Except Michael Massey can touch him.
Yeah, quite literally.
Yeah.
All right. It's just interesting. You know, I wanted to, even though we're not like a huge group here, I still wanted to get a sampling of, you know, people's kind of perspective on the issue, you know? And it seems that all of you guys kind of agree with Joe and I, really, that this is a stupid situation, you know? And I'm glad to see it that we're not kind of outliers here. We're not crazy people ourselves. But thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna wrap this up because we can't keep Joe too much longer. But wish him luck. He has a busy day today.
Yeah, just
and
hopefully.
We hope you guys have a very restful and enjoyable Sunday. You know, thank you for jumping in, chatting with us, especially those of you who are across the pond. It means a lot to us, you know. So really, we appreciate all of you guys. It means a lot to you that you join us.
Thank you.
You know. So have a wonderful day. We love you.
Love you.
And we'll catch you guys very soon. Peace.